Hi, I'm Melissa Profit, the Education and Communication Specialist with the Warren County Soil and Water Conservation District. And I'm out here today making observations in nature. When we think about how we study the natural world around us, well, it's by paying attention to what nature shows us. This is called phenology. Pheno means to show, and ology to study. So it's simply paying attention to what we can observe, right? Living things are growing and changing constantly, so we can think about life cycles, whether it's a caterpillar metamorphosizing into a butterfly or a bud turning into a leaf. Here in Ohio, we can also apply that to the seasons and seasonal changes we might observe. We're certainly not going to see the same things in summer that we see in winter, right? These observations can be critical in understanding what's happening in our natural world. When we think about being out in nature, what kinds of things can we make observations about? Well, let's think about a plant, like this elderberry plant. We can observe, are there leaves, right? Are there buds? Which means that a new leaf would be emerging. Do we have full leaves? Are the leaves green or are they starting to change color? Are there fruits? Are there seeds? When we think about this deciduous sweet gum tree, well, we can see the seed pod here. We also might notice that we've got some changing and browning of the leaves. We may even see some leaf litter on the ground where the leaves have fallen. When looking at evergreen or conifer plants, we can look at the needles. Are they small, new, emerging needles? Are they fully developed needles? Are they light green or dark green? Can we see pine cone seeds starting to form? Do we see any signs of wildlife, like these cicada molted shells? At what point in the cicada's life cycle do they molt and leave these skins? What can that tell us about what we're observing in this season? There's so much to observe in nature, and it's okay if we can't identify every organism, animal, plant that we see. We can still take observations of colors, seeds, are flowers in bloom? If they're in bloom, what color are they? Are they all in bloom, or are there still some buds left to burst open? Maybe we do see things that we can identify, like the Queen Anne's lace, that little white flower. Or is it a plant that has already gone to seed, like this thistle? Or even this tall grass that is showing its seed stalks that look like the little fuzzy tails on the ends. Some you may be able to identify, like this dandelion. And we can see this dandelion is providing a food source for this butterfly. Butterflies love to make use of blooming flowers. It's so much fun being out in nature and making observations. And don't forget, everything in nature is connected. Ecology is the study of how living things interact with the other living and non-living parts of their environment. When we think about phenology, or the study of these life cycles and phases, well, if one organism is dependent on another, it's important that those life cycles sync up. So that if an animal needs a plant as a food source, well, when that animal is, say, producing young, well, it needs to be at the same time that maybe that plant is producing the most food available. So when we think about how the natural world is changing, from climate change to habitat changes, how's that going to affect everything else around that organism? So observations and sharing those observations with other scientists is very critical for us to be able to conserve and protect the natural world. So I hope you're excited to get out there and make some awesome, fun observations.